All right, we're live. We're live.
All right,
How are
it's
you,
good to
Kip?
be here. I'm doing great, man. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good. People are starting to tune in, it looks like, a little bit. So if y'all have any questions, as always, make sure you put them in the chat, put a Q next to it so we can see that. But let us say hi, let us know where you're watching from. It would really be appreciated.
I'm not seeing any people in the chat on my
Yep,
end.
not yet at least. So let me
Are you seeing people in the chat on your end?
Nope, not yet. Nothing there. So hopefully
Guess
people start
everybody's too
chatting
busy.
away. Yeah. Oh, there
Well,
it is.
now I
There we
just
go.
seen 3 people hit the chat. It was
There we go.
crazy. At first, there was nobody in the chat,
I know
but
that was
now I'm
weird.
seeing people.
All right. Hey, Addicted to Antlers and Bama J and Cynthia and CB. What's up? How are y'all doing tonight? It's been a crazy week. I don't know. I know you had an interesting week, Kip. So I had an
Oh,
interesting week
yeah.
too.
Yeah, we was talking a little bit about it before we went live. It's been crazy this week, man.
Mhm.
But you just gotta roll with the punches, and I feel like eating this way has prepared me more for all the different. Whenever I'm going through craziness now, like I feel like eating, because used to when I was have hectic things happen and different things going on, I'd want to just eat tons and tons of garbage, and then I'd feel awful on top of being stressed out. And now at least I can just eat my carnivore food and deal with different things as they may arise.
Yeah, I like garbage. I like that.
Yes, the garbage.
Oh man.
And a couple more Cordelias in here. Aid, is that Lugal? It's good to see everybody in here tonight.
Yeah, 22Q Cat. Hi.
22Q Cat, she's my buddy. Like
Yeah,
she's been with me since the beginning.
she's been commenting on our videos and since the beginning as well. So she's been a huge supporter of both of our channels. So
What's Kate up to tonight, man?
Caitlin she'll be here. She's putting our son to bed tonight. So right now it's just me, but she'll be joining us later when he's down. He usually goes down about 8:30, 9 o'clock, give or take. So yeah. So hopefully
Yeah.
she'll be joining us soon-ish.
Yeah, my wife, she's about to put my daughter Abigail down for bed tonight. She used to go to bed like at 7:30 or something like that, but now she's getting where she wants to go to bed like an hour later. I guess now that she's 2, she feels like she's a big girl, and so she thinks she just needs to stay up later.
How old is Abigail now? She's what, 2.5 or so?
Yeah, she's about coming up on 2.5. I can't believe it, man. It seems like yesterday she was born. And
Yeah.
whenever I started carnivore, it was mainly because of her, because I was
Mhm.
struggling to do anything with her, and like because I kept getting bigger, and it's amazing just to see how much she's grown.
That's amazing. And she was born, what month was she born?
She was born in February, so
Okay.
she'll be 3 next February.
Okay. Yeah, our son was born in September. He'll be 3 in September. So they're not too
Oh,
too
really?
far apart there.
I
All
see
right.
the
So
carnivore
a lot of
truckers
people.
here too.
Yep, I see that.
That's my
What's up,
buddy.
Carnivore Trucker? We got a question here from Wanda. She says, "Do you have a solution for diarrhea? My husband really wants to do this way of eating. He has the type 2 diabetes, I'm guessing, and lupus. Any info would help me steer him in the right direction." Um, has he started going carnivore yet? Because usually there's an adjustment period. If the first at least 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks, you might have some diarrhea as your body adjusts to eating only meat. So, but it will definitely help the type 2 diabetes. I mean, it'll reverse it pretty much. So, yeah, I don't know if he currently has diarrhea and he's not carnivore, but it'll help gut issues for sure. If he has like IBS or something, carnivore definitely will help that for sure. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, well, first, it definitely reversed type 2 diabetes because it did it for me. So I know, I'm living proof that it can reverse type 2 diabetes. But then also, like you said, Pat, it depends on
Mhm.
how if they've started carnivore or not. Like if they're in their first 2 weeks of carnivore, they just need to tough it up, Buttercup.
Yep.
Just deal with it, roll with the punches. That's part of the
Yep.
beginning process. But if you've been doing this for a month or 2 months and you're still having issues like that, I think a lot of times what people will find out is like maybe they're having just a little bit too much fat, or like
Mhm.
putting way too much butter in their eggs whenever they're cooking them, or they'll have a steak, a ribeye, which is already fatty, but then they'll try to put 10 pounds of butter on top of it. And sometimes that can cause a little bit of problems because like you might not need quite that much fat.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I've noticed that if I do get diarrhea, then it's probably because I'm having too much fat for sure. So, um, so yeah, just be careful with that. Once you've adjusted, make sure you don't overdo the fat. Let's see. It's a good question. Bama J asked for some prayers. They just lost their baby brother 3 weeks ago. We will definitely keep you in our prayers for sure. Um, let's see.
Sorry to hear that, Bama J.
Yeah, that's tough. Like I couldn't imagine.
Mm.
So Bonnie says, "Oh, I'm Pat from Carnivore Couple. Caitlin will be here soon. She's putting our son to sleep. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Pat."
And if you don't
um,
know who I am, I'm Kip.
and where was that go? Let's see. Oh, Carnivore Trucker. That's funny because I had the same thing happen to me this week.
Yeah, if you want to share, you can tell them.
Yeah, I lost my job Monday, and I already have no job offer. So I'm taking a little bit of time off work. Might as well, because I had a fishing trip I'm going on next week that I've had planned for a while. So I figured I might as well just wait and then start work after Memorial Day. So, but yeah, the same thing happened to me. So
And start pumping out them carnivore videos now, man.
yeah, we got one filmed today, and so it's just got to be edited. It's gonna go out next week. But yeah, we got some stuff coming, some good content
I get
coming. So
excited every time I see a video of y'all. Like, I mean, I watch a lot of carnivore videos and stuff, but something about whenever y'all make a video, I get really excited and I can't wait to watch it.
well, appreciate that. Appreciate that. We try to
Absolutely.
make it as entertaining as possible, and keep you engaged a little bit. So,
Yeah, y'all are doing good. I need to take notes.
but we got some good stuff coming up. We got some good stuff coming on down the pipeline and stuff on the calendar. So stay tuned for sure.
Have y'all ever been to any of the conferences or anything, or have y'all thought about ever going to any of them?
We've thought about it, for sure. The thing is, like, we live in Nebraska, so there's not really much going on here. So if they had something somewhat close, we may go to it, but it's just tough to find time. The timing is always tough for us. So
They don't have a lot
especially
of
now with Caitlin being
carnivore conferences out in the cornfields.
yeah, right. Or even a low carb or keto event would be cool too. But now with Caitlin being really pregnant with twins, she's just super tired all the time. So it's really if we're not gonna be able to get back to somewhat normal probably for about a year. So it's gonna be because after the twins come and then the adjustment and the newborn and all that stuff. So it's gonna
How
be tough.
far along is she now?
She is
I put him on the spot. He don't know
20,
y'all.
she's about 7 months. So we got
7.
about a couple. So they're originally due in like early August, and so it's gonna be July sometime probably because it's usually 36 to 38 weeks for twins. So it's coming up
Wow.
quick.
I can't
um,
even imagine, dude.
yeah, it's
I have one and I'm like, I feel like I don't have time to do anything by just having one. I can't imagine. But I know you'll love them.
yeah, I mean we have our 2-year-old, but then we're gonna be getting two more at the same time. So it's gonna be a difficult adventure, but it's gonna be worth it. So we're excited.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
yeah. And then he yeah, you must have not been keeping up with our channel, Sean, but no, I've lost now 135 pounds total. Down to 166 right now. So yeah,
That is
I've lost
crazy.
some more weight.
I think your first video that y'all made, I remember watching it, but do you remember how far into carnivore y'all were when y'all made that video?
Like
Like,
a week or two. I think we made our first video drop like March 9th or something
yeah,
like that. And
because
we started
you
March
look
1st.
like a different person, man.
Yeah. All I know. It's crazy. It's crazy
It's crazy.
how much
You look like one of them athletes.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah. You gonna start making running videos and all that, man?
no, I don't, dude. I cannot do the running, man. I'm not a runner. Never been a runner. Never cared. I just don't like it.
Well, you
I'm
can be
more
the
of a.
next
I'd rather.
powerlifting carnivore then.
I'd rather lift weights. I'm not a huge power lifter either. I'm more of like a bodybuilding type, like hypertrophy type of training. So, like focus on that one muscle and yeah. So that's kind of my style. And then
You
I
said
do
didn't
walk.
you say a while back you have some, like, adjustable dumbbells that you do
Yeah.
some lifting with?
Yeah, I have adjustable dumbbells, a bench, and then like a pull-up bar and dip bar combo. So I actually worked out today. Yeah, I try to work out about 3 times a week. So, and that helps with, of course, burning more calories, losing more weight, and then also I try to get in about 10,000 steps per day. And yeah, today I'm at 10,157. So I did hit it. So that's good.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Uh,
get into a better, like, walking routine,
mhm.
because I'm not sure if you know, but at the end of this year, I'm gonna do a 5K, and that I get nervous just saying it because I've never done
Yep.
anything like that in my life. But,
Yeah.
but telling myself, "Hey, it's a goal, I gotta do it," is gonna help, push me to see it through, and I know it's gonna be good for me to do that, so I'm working
You know,
towards that.
do you know who Jelly Roll is?
Yeah, I do.
He just did a 5K too, and he's a big guy too. So like,
Yeah,
it's doable, you
yeah.
know?
Someone sent me a link to that of him doing
Yeah.
the 5K, and it was I think he did some program like 5K
Mhm.
before May or something like that, or he
Mhm.
had to do it in May sometime, and so
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm actually it's set for November 16th, and
Okay.
so, it's literally exactly 6 months from now. So I have 6 months from now to get myself in the shape that I need to be in to complete that 5K. Because right now I haven't even walked 3.1 or 3.2 miles at once. I need to
Mhm.
get to where I can comfortably walk that, pretty regular before I enter that 5K event. But I'm going to be working on a plan with someone else, maybe two other people, to try to get me to that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good you start prepping now, because like it's time's a wasting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
If you're gonna do it November 16th, you gotta like start
I
just
got
walking a
6
little bit
months,
every
man. Let's
day.
go. I'm ready.
Start walking a little bit every day, and being fat dad is gonna help a lot too with your energy levels and your endurance and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for you. It's gonna be awesome, man.
Oh,
I
man, I
I know
can't
you're gonna
wait.
make a video about it, so I'm excited for that video.
As long as I make it to the finish line.
Yeah, you can do it. You'll do it. You'll do it.
Yeah.
You'll be prepped and ready.
If
Yeah.
I don't make it to the finish line, somebody else will make a video and be like, "Who's that big guy laying down right there on the ground?"
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at the chat, see what we got going on here. Um, yeah, Omaha is in Nebraska. Chucker, he said he fell off the wagon, didn't keep up with content. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, because you were doing really good there for a while. Um, but I'm glad to see you're back and hopefully see. Are you gonna be making content again? Because I remember watching some of your stuff. But yeah, hopefully you just keep on the wagon and keep on the journey. Get there.
Yeah, and whenever I've went off the wagon, I know all about that, and whenever you go off the
Mhm.
wagon, it's hard to even watch carnivore content
Yep.
And it's definitely hard to make content because
Hmm.
me at least, whenever I was way off plan, I felt so awful that I didn't even feel like making a video. Like
Yep.
those are the hardest videos I've ever made whenever I was off plan. And there's been people to say like, "Oh, you're just making this video because it like it's drawing attention because you're playing." I'm like, dude, I would much rather make a video and tell you that, hey, I just ran a marathon and hey, I just dropped 200 pounds. I'd rather make that video than hey, I went off the wagon. But pick yourself up, Carnivore
Hmm.
Trucker, and let's go. We can do it together, man.
Yeah, and it's tough, man. Food addiction's real, and and Caitlin's in a weird spot because she's pregnant and she's not carnivore, and she's trying to just make sure she's getting the babies the nutrients they need. So like for her, it's tough to talk about carnivore or ketovore because she's not even doing it. So that's why like you see a lot of me more so than her lately. But yeah, she's excited to get back on her journey after the babies are here. She's super excited. She's ready to go. So hopefully, in starting late summer, early fall, she'll be getting back on the wagon too. So we'll see how that goes. But
Dude,
we're
even me, for me, even whenever I was off plan for 3 weeks,
Mhm.
and like I went while I was on my cruise, like halfway through the cruise, even though I was off plan and I'm not gonna lie to you, I enjoyed the pizza and I enjoyed the donuts and all that stuff, but I felt so miserable that I
Yeah.
remember laying in bed at night and I was thinking, man, I wish I was on plan right now. Like I remember sitting there thinking, like I can't wait to get home to get back on my plan because
Mhm.
this is the best I've ever felt. Like I've
Yeah.
never felt better than eating carnivore.
Mhm.
And so I
Yeah.
was desperate to get back on plan, and I'm just thankful that I am now.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, exactly. And oh, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Hold on. I was trying to click this one, but yeah. So I know a lot of people struggle. It's not a I started and I didn't stop. A lot of people do fall off the wagon and get into the cycle of cheating, having cheat meals and cheat days and cheat months. And I know that you being vulnerable, making those videos help a lot of people because they say, not everyone's perfect. You know what I mean? And yeah, I know a lot of people appreciate you being honest with them. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah. And I'm never the type of person that's telling everybody, "Hey, it's a good idea to go off plan," or "Hey, everybody should go off plan." Like I'm not saying that that's a good idea, but for those people that have been off plan, I know what that's like, and I know what it's like to struggle. And like you were saying, with it helping those people, I would say whenever I've made a video like that, I've had more people tell me that they felt like that was them as well than people that told me that they never been off plan. There's people that like you that stuck with it and
mhm,
never hardly ever went off plan.
mhm.
But I would say more people have had the cheat meals or more people have went off plan than there is that never went off plan.
Yep, I can agree with that. You
Yeah.
know, I went into it super super disciplined with a strong mindset, and I told myself I'm not going to cheat until I hit my goals. Like I'm not going to do it at all. And
You
I
went
know
beast
I'm
mode,
I'm an
dude.
anomaly. I'm not. That's not normal. I'm
You
not
went beast
normal. I
mode.
promise. And so it's yeah. A lot of people do struggle, and it's I'd say all the time it's not a race, it's a marathon. So you just got to take it easy, take it one day at a time, and keep fighting that addiction, and keep your why in the front of in on your focus on your why every single day,
Mhm.
and be consistent. You just every single day be consistent, and you'll achieve your health goals for sure. So
And every time that I've been off plan, I
mhm.
feel like when I get back on plan, I have some new knowledge with me when I get back on plan. It's like I learn something every time, and it fires me up. I basically I get mad at myself and kick myself for even going off plan because I always regret it. I never, come back on plan and like, oh man, it was so great that I was off plan for that time. It's always a learning experience and like, hey, this is why you don't need to do this. You remember what that shoulder pain was like, and you remember, all these different issues.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it really, every time I tell myself, dude, that really was not worth it.
Yeah, and like you just I don't. There's not
It's
much more I can say to that.
yeah, it's
I
never worth it.
because like the one big cheat meal I did have, I went all out and it wasn't worth it. you know. So
Wasn't that
uh,
like around one of the holidays or something?
yeah, it was New Year's Eve. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah,
New Year's
I went
Eve.
a little crazy with it, and I'm almost entering that maintenance phase now, and I'm trying to like figure out what I'm doing now as far as like my diet. I'm pretty much carnivore. Sometimes I'm eating some strawberries here and there. They're only organic.
I
Oh
can't
my
believe
goodness,
he had a strawberry, man.
terrible,
He just
right?
lost 1,000 subscribers. No.
No, but I'm trying to see if if I can handle it because like I'm a sugar
Oh,
addict. I know that. So like if I eat like 4 or 5 strawberries, will I go want something else? And so far I've been fine. It hasn't
yeah,
been a big deal.
yeah. You
Because like
can't tell me you cannot tell me that our ancestors never ate a berry. You
hmm
can't tell me that they never like a couple weeks ago, I was walking down my dirt road because I've been trying to get into walking for that 5K, and I seen some blackberries on the side of the road. And so the next day I brought my daughter walking with me, and we went and we picked blackberries. Now I didn't
hmm
even eat any. I thought about eating some, but I didn't. But my daughter, she was tearing them up. But you can't
yeah,
tell me if our ancestors didn't come across blackberries, they wasn't going to be like, that's not meat, I'm not eating it. Like, man,
I mean,
be realistic. Like,
100%. Because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, I get. So for me, carnivore was about getting healthy, losing weight, getting rid of the inflammation and the pain, all that stuff, right? And I've hit my goal weight. I'm in a healthy weight. I'm still trying to like lose a little bit, and still be in a calorie deficit, but still eat, carnivore for the most part.
yeah.
I'm not eating any veggies or anything or carbs or anything like that. But yeah, I'm just trying to see like if it's like, for example, if it's like 4th of July and there's some watermelon. If I have a couple pieces of watermelon, it's not gonna be a big deal. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. It's not like so far it's been fine for me. I haven't been wanting like bad processed food or candy or carbs or anything like that. So I've been doing fine with it. So
Yeah.
um,
And you'll
I
know
think
too, like
I
if you're
think
the
it comes with
person,
conviction.
if you're one of the people that had a strawberry and it made them
Mhm,
want to go to Dunkin' Donuts or something, then like, yeah, don't have the strawberry. But like if you can,
exactly.
you know how to listen to your body and
Mhm.
know if it's affecting you in a negative way.
Exactly. And it hasn't affected me like physically negatively or anything. So I'm just gonna do what I'm doing, and I'm still like still fasting in the morning, only doing I'm back to like kind of 2 meals a day now instead of 1 meal a day, just because I'm not trying to really lose a ton of weight at this point. I'm trying to like maybe if I lose another 5 pounds, I'll be all right. I mean, you know what I mean? So I'm not
That
really
5 pounds that you mentioned, do you if is that just something that you're thinking maybe you might could lose, or do you have any like skin issues or anything like that, leftover skin or anything?
so I still have a little bit of like love handles and a little bit of belly. Not much, but
Gotcha.
so I'm trying to get that last little bit of like, belly and love handles off. And I do have a little bit of loose skin around the belly and like in my arms and like um those kind of areas, that's because I was, 135 pounds heavier. So, you're gonna
I
have loose
wonder if
skin.
that could be a couple of those pounds that
Oh, I
that
mean,
you're
for
talking
sure,
about.
for sure. I believe it. But there's still some fat there, not very much. So I'm still trying to like still be in a calorie deficit, still trying to fast a little bit, maybe having some berries here and there. I'm eating 2 meals. I mean, eggs, mostly eggs and steak, like always. I'm adding a little bit of cheese back in, a little bit of dairy, like cheese, and sometimes I'll add some cream, like whipping cream in my coffee every once in a while, but not a daily thing. So I'm kind of like not being extremely strict like I was for the last few months, where I was doing OMAD and like BBB pretty much. So I'm just trying to figure everything out right now as I'm entering this new phase, I guess. So it's been
Mhm.
interesting for sure. Completely different than the last 14 months, you know?
Well, I mean, you've earned it to be able
Yeah.
to, have a little bit of something off of your normal plan and just see how it affects
Mhm.
you. Now, if you
Mhm.
had heavy cream and you started noticing some negative impact, or the scale started going up like crazy, you would know to cut that out right then. So
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
you're fine.
Exactly. And I'm even like thinking that when I'm really truly in maintenance phase and I've hit all of my goals, like I'm like, why not have like a cheat meal once a month to see how I handle it? Just once a month, see how it goes, you know? And it won't be something crazy. It'll be you just like, I don't know. Who knows? You know, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm just still trying to play with different things and trying to figure out how this whole new thing is gonna work moving forward, and because I'm still gonna be like 95% carnivore and a little bit of berries here and there, a little bit more cream, a little bit more dairy here and there, but we'll see. I'm just still trying to figure things out and test the waters a little bit. I don't think I'll ever go back to eating processed foods or heavy carbs or heavy sugars or anything like that because that's just not, or seed oils. That's another terrible thing that I avoid. But yeah, so it's kind of a weird change that's going on right now.
Yeah, I
But
the times where seed oils get me a little bit is when you're going out to like a restaurant. Sometimes I might not realize that they put seed oils in a certain thing, or like if you go get something at the Mexican restaurant, what they might have cooked in. But that's why it's best most of the time to just cook your own food and stuff. You know what you're
mhm,
getting. But
mhm.
occasionally, when I'm in a situation where we're somewhere and I have something like that, I just try to move past it and not at least not have the bread and all the other stuff. But I mean, sometimes those seed oils, they'll sneak them in there on you.
Yeah, and we don't go out to eat much, but when we have gone out twice in the last couple months to Buffalo Wild Wings, and they cook all their wings in beef tallow. So that's a great place to go if you want chicken wings and it's still carnivore. And I try to get there's, I think their hot sauce may have seed oils in it, but there's no sugar and I think 1 gram of carb per serving. So I would get that just to dip my wings in. I wouldn't put like the sauce on the wings. So that worked out for me for finding something that's not just steak, because you can go to a steakhouse and get steak like everyone else, but that's something if you wanted to change it up. So
Yeah,
we do
chicken
have a
wings.
question here. Um, what benefits do most carnivores get that you have not gotten? I'll let you answer that one first.
Ah, man, I gotta think first. Man, Aid over here, Brent, coming in with the heavy hitters.
I've
I
heard
really didn't
weird
think
things
about
from
that.
some people. Like I've heard like some people don't get sunburned, and I've heard like you don't need deodorant anymore. I still need deodorant.
Yeah.
If I work out and if I don't take a shower afterwards, I can tell. So I still use deodorant even though I've been carnivore for a long time. I
But
know a
I
lot of
do
people.
know one thing that I do know one thing that is definitely true is that for me, because I've heard, people like Kerry at Homestead How he said that
Mhm.
carnivores don't fart. When I eat carnivore, I don't fart at all. And then, but
Yeah.
whenever, like when I went off plan and went on the cruise, my wife would even tell you, dude, I was tooting up a storm. And and I forgot that I used to be like that. And then
Yeah.
once I went back on plan, I told her, I said, "Watch, you give it a couple days and you won't hear nothing out of me." And it's like my stomach, everything settles right back down, and I'm just good to go again. But I mean, I don't know. I haven't lost as much weight as some of the carnivores, but that's mainly my fault, not carnivores' fault. It's because there's been times where I've went off plant. I'll be doing so good, and then I'll, you know, get sidetracked with all the carbs and the sugar. So I'm not going to blame that on carnivore. That's more of me not being, you know, as strict as I know that I should be.
Yeah. Hmm. Um, yeah. As far as like benefits that I have not gotten, I don't know. Like, I mean, I've I used to be sore, inflamed, and had terrible brain fog and have gas and bloating. I used to have like IBS. It's gone. I used to be sore and stiff every morning. I used to have really terrible chronic pain in my ankle. It's gone. It was gone after the first 2 or 3 months. I mean, there's so many things that's changed, but I don't know of anything that I have not gotten. But
Yeah.
So I
No,
don't know. Yeah,
I've seen some videos of some people saying some stuff that I'm like, I love carnivore and I know carnivore is good, but I don't know if it'll do all that because there's some people that'll make it sound like if you
I
try the
know.
carnivore diet, it'll make your leg grow back if you ain't got no legs. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
come on,
there are some people out there who think the carnivore is the cure to every single thing in the world.
yeah,
It
and I'm
can
like,
help a lot of things. It'll improve your health for sure, but I don't think it's the cure for everything in the world. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
like,
yeah, it can definitely help with a lot of things,
yeah.
especially metabolic diseases and autoimmune issues and stuff like that. But I don't think it'll make your, leg grow back if you lost a limb or something crazy like that. Something weird that I do notice that my beard grows in thicker than it used to. That's something that I have noticed. That's a positive change.
More
Yeah,
testosterone.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you're
How
having twins, man.
My testosterone though is actually low. The last time I got it tested, I got it tested twice. It went up, but it's still low. So we'll see if adding those berries back in will help it go up more. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah,
You're at this point where you can experiment, like, and do different stuff. Like, you can, take a 3-month period and do a certain thing, and then go get lab work done, and then later on you can switch it up and go get more lab work done, and you can learn different stuff. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a guinea pig. Be the guinea pig, man.
But no, I'm trying to. That's one thing that really I'm trying to improve, because like back in 4 months in, I got blood work done for 4 months, and my testosterone was in the 200s. And then I went back in March, which is a year after I was started, and it was up to 350. So it's going up, but obviously I wanted in the 5, 6, 700 range. That's ideally where I want it. But we'll see. I maybe lifting weights is going to help. Eating protein obviously is going to help, and staying away from all the junk food and the processed junk helps for sure. But we'll see. And maybe adding those berries back in, and I haven't, because I mean there are like a couple carbs and berries, so maybe that's going to help. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, whenever I was thinking about eating those blackberries with my daughter, I looked them up, and I think a cup of them was like 6 or 7 net carbs or grams of carbs or something. So there were some carbs and some sugar in it naturally, but it wasn't like this crazy, crazy amount like a lot of different things are. It wasn't like no orange or anything like that.
Yeah. That's the other thing, with starting with like blueberries and strawberries and raspberries, is that they're the lowest on the glycemic index, so they have very little sugar, very little carbs. So that's a good way to kind of start to feel the waters, to see if you can handle a little bit. And then look who decided to join. And no, I told them that we're putting Wyatt to sleep. So
now me and him might as well leave. She just come to steal the whole show. No,
that's not true at
all. The next one was I was gonna highlight this one. We were talking about like benefits and stuff for carnivore, but yeah, no blood sugar crashes, consistent energy throughout the day is a big one. Yes, and the brain fog. There's lots of great benefits. So, Gene has a question for Kipp.
What is the secret to cooking eggs in a cast iron skillet? Don't have it as hot as you do whenever you're cooking a steak. Like when you're cooking a steak, you're wanting to get your temperature in the pan up a lot hotter. That way it'll maintain the temperature when you put the steak in there. But when you're cooking eggs, like you can bring your temp up to like a 5 or 6, but then bring it back down to like 2 or 1, depending on your stove, but bring it down really low and then put the eggs in there. But make sure you got make sure you get your skillet hot and have your your oil in there with it too, because you don't want to be throwing eggs in there without plenty of oil in it, because it'll definitely stick.
Yeah, you said it all.
Well, seasoning.
It's properly seasoning your skillet's important too, obviously.
Absolutely, absolutely, that's good. Unless you're using like those, the ones that we all grew up having with the Teflon and all that stuff in it. But I've started, like, I mainly use, now every now and then I'll use one of my wife's like non-stick skillets, but typically if I'm not cooking on a smoker, which is rare, but if I'm not cooking on a smoker, then I'm using a cast iron skillet, or recently I've been using carbon steel, which carbon steel is a lot like cast iron, but it's a little bit lighter, so it's easier to work with, and I think it actually gets a little bit more nonstick than cast iron does, like when you're cooking eggs.
Do you have to season it just like a cast iron?
You do it just like cast iron. I mean, just like cast iron, but it's a little bit lighter, so it's easier on a lot of people's wrists and stuff.
Yeah.
And when you cook eggs in it, I feel like it becomes a little bit more nonstick than even cast iron does.
Okay, interesting. Didn't know that. So now that Caitlin's here, how are you?
Wow.
Other than really pregnant, how are you?
She's like, I'm just surviving.
Yeah.
I feel like that's been the
theme
of this pregnancy.
Yeah.
Second trimester was good. I got energy. So like we had to do a lot of flip-flopping in our house because our house is really small. So we flip-flop our rooms, and the nursery's put together now. So like I'm feeling like the babies could come I don't want them to come tomorrow. But they could come tomorrow and we'd be okay.
You had to get 2 of everything, because we already had, a crib and a car seat and all that stuff, but we had to get another crib, another car seat, had to get a stroller that'll hold at least 2 kids, if not 3.
Wow.
So it's a lot of different changes,
but we had a little, I wouldn't say a scare, just kind of a concern. One of the twins was fetal growth restricted. So they were in the less than 3rd percentile, and the maternal fetal medicine specialist didn't know if that was because there was an issue with the cord flow or the placenta or what was going on. So I was having to go in for weekly ultrasound Doppler checks for that, just to make sure that they continued to grow well, because if they didn't grow well, then we would have had to immediately deliver, which at the time I was only 24 weeks. So that would be, a very long NICU stay, go preemies and all of that. So, but thankfully, we are now through those really trying 4 weeks of just wondering how things are going to go.
Yep.
And during that time, I just tried to really increase my protein intake. And then I also was supplementing with something called L-arginine. I got it approved through my doctor, but it's just like a vasodilator that helps your blood vessels open up even more.
It's an amino acid or a supplement. Yeah.
So then just kind of really trying to just push all those nutrients and the protein and everything I was eating. And so we actually got our last scan, and instead of being in the 3rd percentile, they went up to the 6th percentile. So they gained an entire 3% just in that last month. So
that was Monday.
That was a lot of answers to prayer for sure.
So everything is going well now currently.
That's good.
Both growing. Both babies are growing. So.
Yeah, both babies are growing, but I can definitely tell they're
there. Yeah. It's been a challenging pregnancy for sure.
We have told some of our friends and people in real life, I guess, if we're having boys or girls.
Yeah.
But we haven't decided whether or not we're gonna say it yet.
Yeah, we haven't decided yet. So if we're gonna talk about it on YouTube.
Secondary life. So I saw Barry was asking that question: are they boys or girls?
That would be, if you ever did decide to do it, that would be a cool video.
Yeah, we may do it. We'll see. Maybe we'll wait till they're born. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But here's a question right here. Get it. There we go.
What do I drink whenever I'm thirsty? I've heard that carnivore lifestyle makes you thirsty. Well, for me, I feel like I'm less thirsty, and that's just me, mainly because I used to drink sweet tea all day, every day. And when you drink sweet tea, it never quenches your thirst. You always got to get another glass. And so I know, like, but it used to taste so good, but I had to constantly go back for more and more and more. So now when I drink water, it quenches my thirst. And so, um, mainly I would drink water. This is a smart water, but then I like to drink LaCroix or bubbly or something like that. And then that's mainly what I drink is sparkling water or water. I mean, occasionally I'll go get like I don't know, it's not the best thing in the world, but like a Powerade Zero. And I really shouldn't be getting that, I don't think. But and some people would flip out on me for having that, but sometimes I will get one.
And yeah, it has like, probably dyes in it, food coloring, but every once in a while, I don't see a huge issue with that. As long as there's no sugar or carbs, probably fine. But not now. Don't do that all the time.
Yeah.
But every once in a while. Every once in a while, I have like a Dr. Pepper Zero just because I'm craving something like that. But yeah.
Anyways, how are you doing, Kipp? Because the last I knew, it was kind of like on and off.
Yeah, the last I was getting ready to jump off the bridge.
We talked about it before we started going live, but maybe you should just
can you give us an update?
A little update because I know you've got back from the cruise. We're consistent, and you go ahead and let us update us, please.
Yeah. So I had went on I guess you could call it like a 3-week hiatus, and I just went like I ate everything in sight. Like I kind of tricked myself whenever I was going on a cruise. I was like, you're finna go on this cruise in a week anyway, so why don't you just go ahead and get your body adjusted to eating junk food? That way you don't get sick on the cruise. And so I just kind of fooled myself into going off plan. And so it ended up lasting like 3 weeks. And I didn't even think it was possible, but I was telling him before the live stream that I actually gained 50 pounds in 3 weeks. And so, a lot of it was, yes, water weight and inflammation. I was super swole up. I could feel it on the cruise. I felt awful when I was on the cruise. I was telling myself, dude, I can't wait to get back on carnivore. I can't wait. And so, after I gained the 50 pounds, I got back home and I started back. And within 19 days, I lost 30 pounds. I lost 30. I lost 30 of the 50 pounds. Right now, I'm 31 pounds down from the 50 that I gained. So I'm headed in the right direction. I'm not there yet, but it's just crazy that the scale can go up that far, but then start coming right back down. So, I mean, that's just further proof to me that this is the way that I need to live my life.
Yeah, that's crazy though. That's nuts. And I know, like, you had talked about this before, because before the pregnancy, you were like, struggling to stay on track. But like, your mind will trick you, like you were just talking about, like, oh, I don't want to have to go through the gut changes on the cruise, so I'm gonna keep on cheating, eat my carbs and sugar, so I can. Like, it's like a drug addict. Like, I don't want the withdrawals, so I'm gonna stay doing this drug until I get till Monday or until next month or whatever, But you gotta get on the wagon and start. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and someone had a question in here. So I think it's Saul that runs, or maybe no, it's not. It's that one. Yeah. It's how do you guys fight off carb cravings? I've been folding like a binder. When I read that question, I immediately was thinking basically what you were saying. I feel like I'm learning that it's like you have to treat it like if you had some old friends that you used to party with and y'all were hanging out all the time and then you quit hanging out with them, the more distance you can get from that crowd, or the more distance you can get from those carbs, the longer you can fight those urges and stay away from it, I feel like it gets easier. It's just like if you were to quit smoking cigarettes, at first it's going to be really hard. But if you can stick with it and keep not smoking each day, I feel like it gets easier. At least for me, I'm finding that it's easier for me to stay on carnivore if I just stay on carnivore. Like when I start going off plan, that's whenever it starts getting really, really hard.
Yeah, the beginning is always the hardest, especially if you're always mostly eating carbs and sugar, like all of us were doing, it's tough. Like you got to really have a strong mindset. You got to get rid of all the junk food in your house, all the carbs, all the sugar, all the stuff, and only have carnivore foods in your house. And if you have a craving, do something like eat some butter, like literally bite butter, like seriously, that'll help. Eat a meal, you have some cheese, have a steak, like do something like that, and that'll definitely help. But it gets easier. It gets easier with time. You just have to be consistent, take it one day at a time, and you'll start to see, oh, it's been 30 days. I haven't had any sugar or any carbs, and I'm not really feeling like I want any right now. And then 3 months in, you're like, wow, I haven't thought about sugar or carbs in weeks, and it gets easier as you go, for sure.
That was something I was
Go ahead.
That was something I was really struggling with when I was kind of like in, I don't know, around, I feel like month 6 before I like kind of changed how I was eating now that I'm pregnant. But the thing that helped me get back on track was like not trying to play the long game when I'm first getting started, but just do it for 24 hours. And if those 24 hours fail, reset, because then you get into a mental game of, well, I cheated yesterday. Why does today matter? And then you just keep doing that. So like really thinking to myself, like I'm only going to do this for 24 hours and being very consistent about that. But then also for me, I really struggled. So I would have a friend that I would text that I would say, hey, I'm like super emotional and upset. I want to go get fries. And then I can talk to her through how I'm feeling instead of like eating it.
Yeah. And I'll say for me, something that I've done recently that I don't typically do, and I feel like it kind of helped me get through. And it goes back to whenever Pat was talking about how he's like, whenever he had a little craving or something, he had a Coke Zero. Like what I'd done over like Mother's Day weekend, we went out to eat like 2 times. And that was always a weakness for me, was like when you go to restaurants, you smell all the different foods and you want to have all this off-plan stuff. So what I done was I pulled a trick out of Dr. Berry's playbook. And then instead of going way off plan, I had something keto instead of carnivore. So what I done was, while we were at this restaurant, I had some grilled oysters and I had like bacon and cheese on it, but I also had jalapenos. And jalapenos, technically, they're not carnivore. They're more in the keto space. But by doing that, I felt like I treated myself and I felt like I'd done something, but really it didn't affect me at all the next day. I mean, the scale was still moving and I was still moving forward. So some people just have to like find something that like, well, maybe it's they have a little bit of their whatever drink it is or whatever keto snack that they have or like that they want to have on occasions just to help them get through those urges, instead of, hey, I want to cheat, let's have some mac and cheese and some cereal and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
I could not agree more, Kipp. That's so great.
Yeah. If you're going to cheat, be keto.
It worked out a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, and there's been times where like, I've had a jalapeno or a pickle or something like that, but like, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like it's better than going off the rails completely, and having a full on cheat.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, like for example, my birthday's coming up, and I'm thinking about like, because normally it's my birthday, I like go whatever diet I used to be on. I was like, I'm going way off plan. It's my birthday, it's time to party. Da da da. Well, now I'm thinking like, okay, so I still have a goal that I'm trying to achieve. So something that I've been thinking that I might do for my birthday is have a big steak, but have some mushrooms with it. And, and mushrooms is something different from my normal plan, but it's not going to derail everything, or cause me to go way off the rails for a week if I have some mushrooms.
Do you feel like your weakness is more salty or carbohydrates or sugars?
I feel like it starts out more with carby stuff, but then once I have the carby stuff, then I feel like, oh, you've already let your guard down. Now you might as well have the ice cream too. Like once you kick yourself down a notch, or once at least me, then I feel deflated. And when I feel deflated, I start feeling like, oh, I don't even care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, I done screwed up now.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
so then it's like a fair
Mhm.
game for 3 days or for a week. And then when I step on the scale, it's like, I really did that.
Mhm.
So I'm having to work through it. It's a long process, but I'm gonna get there.
Yeah, because I know for your birthday we made you brown butter carnivore ice cream with bacon.
Yeah,
it was
that
really
was
good.
that was good. Yeah.
What was
And-
it?
Brown butter carnivore ice cream.
I
Yeah,
need to
it
try that.
was.
It's really good, but
It's.
I mean, if you're not the sweet person, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's not a treat for
It
you.
was it was like cream
Cream, egg yolks, and then some brown butter.
and stevia.
Yeah, and
For
I
the
didn't
sweetener.
even put stevia in yours.
You didn't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And then you said you could make me some like carnivore or like sort of carnivore.
It wouldn't be carnivore because there's lemons.
That's
in it.
true, but like lemon bars.
I could make you keto lemon bars because a lemon
wanna try
bar
that sometime.
base is like a custard made with egg yolk.
Yeah.
We'll have to try it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I have to watch myself when I go to cities because I live in a small town, like y'all live in a small town.
Mhm.
So when I go to, like, people that live in the city, they don't understand where I'm coming from with this. But when you live in a small town and when you go to like a city to handle some business or to go shopping or something like that, and you see all those signs with all those restaurants, at least a big boy like me, we freak out. We're just like, they got everything. and so then I get to thinking, man, look, oh, I remember this place, they got cookies there, and this place has this, and this place has that, because they don't have that in my town. And so I really have to watch myself whenever I go to the city, because like there's this place called like Crumble Cookie that I used to love going to when I would go to the big city. And now I have to catch myself every time I go to the big city. I'll ask myself a little question in my head, like, do you want to go get one of those cookies? And then I'm like, and then there's this whole battle, and I have to tell myself, no, you're not getting that cookie.
One thing I feel like that's been really inspirational for me in watching Patrick's journey, because we lost around the same rate until I was a little inconsistent in the summer, and then I got pregnant, so I wasn't losing weight anymore. But it was really cool to see how even those really tiny decisions of, oh, I'm not going to cheat on my birthday, or, oh, I'm going to continue to eat carnivore over Christmas and over Thanksgiving, or I'm going to eat mainly carnivore and add like this one little keto thing during those holidays. Like, it's crazy how all of those tiny little consistency and just keeping the course over the last 14 months completely changed your life. And that's just really inspiring to me. And so I keep telling him when I can finally go back to losing weight after our babies are here. And I'm just like, you went 10 months without cheating. I'm like a very competitive person. I want to go 11. Like just like
yes, she's super
I'm
competitive.
so competitive.
Y'all know.
So, but it is inspiring.
Granted, you grew up with a brother who was good at everything, so you had to be competitive to survive. So
Do y'all have you, Pat, at least Pat, have you ever had an issue with like family members wanting to go out to certain restaurants and it'd be really hard for you to find something on the menu, like where maybe you just didn't even eat at all, or you ate before you went or ate after? Or do y'all not have family that lives close enough to want to go out to eat and stuff like that for you to even have that issue?
So there's been a couple times. So like potlucks, you know what a potluck is? At church or whatever. You know, people will bring food, and I have to just be careful of what is there. And usually we try to bring stuff that we can eat. So like we'll bring, if we go to someone's house for a party or dinner or whatever, we'll bring like, deviled eggs or hot dogs, hamburgers, stuff that we can eat, that I can eat. But I know we went to like this Mexican restaurant like a month or so ago. And I looked at the menu before because I used to go there all the time and eat whatever I wanted. But they actually had ribeye, so I was able to get a ribeye. But
do you want the vegetables with it?
And I was like, yeah, sure, but I didn't eat them. I'm not gonna, so Yeah, so that's happened. That's one example, but I've never been out to a restaurant where there was nothing I couldn't eat. Granted, in the last 14 months we went out maybe like 6 times.
We also don't go out to eat very much.
We don't ever really go out to eat much.
Yeah.
So it's because
Well, that's good. He'll save a lot of money by not going out to eat.
Yeah, for sure.
But
the biggest thing is going to, like, someone's house for dinner, or having people over our house for dinner, or a potluck. Those are the kind of more common than us actually going out to eat. And in those situations, we just try to bring food that we know we can eat, or eat before I go.
Or we have been a little bit, I feel like in the very beginning, we were a little hesitant to tell people about what we were doing.
Yeah.
But we're a little bit more open about it and just saying, hey, and we'll bring the main course or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my family's one of them families where, like, they all love to eat and they love going to all these different restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I have to, like, be mindful when we go different places or whatever. Or they've kind of learned certain restaurants that I'm, like, more okay with, like seafood restaurants where I can get a lot of, like, seafood. Like, not long ago, on Mother's Day, we went to, like, this seafood restaurant and I got, like, grilled flounder. And so that's what I ate, was the grilled fish. But it just, that sometimes they'll be like, man, we want to go to this sushi place or whatever that has all these different rice and all this other different stuff. And I'm just like, look, y'all killing me. Like this is like stuff that I love to eat. And like, it's hard for me to find some, even if you go to a sushi, or at least here where we live, if you go to like a Japanese restaurant, like they still put tons of like teriyaki sauce on the steak and the chicken and all that stuff. So certain restaurants for me is just, I'd rather just tell them, look guys, I'll see y'all. I'll catch y'all next time. And I can't do it, or eat a bunch of stuff before I go. And then I feel awkward because I'm the only person sitting there not eating.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, on a health journey, you're responsible for yourself. So like, if there's not going to be food there, look at the menu ahead of time. See, usually most menus are online, and you can see if there's anything you can eat. If there isn't, eat beforehand, don't go, or whatever. But there's things you can do to get through it. And also, like, being fat adapted, fasting is not a huge issue. You can do that too. You can just fast. So
also, I feel like, I know how you said, like, eat before you go and then you feel awkward. Like, Patrick has done that enough times. It's no longer awkward, and people just are like, oh, whatever, it's Patrick.
Because we went to it was a mop's party, I think. Yeah. And I literally just ate cheese. Like, I ate before I went. But I ate cheese, so I wasn't sitting there doing nothing. So I had just some cheese.
But everyone knew, like, why.
Everyone knew that,
it wasn't awkward.
It wasn't awkward at all.
Yeah.
And everyone was having whatever they wanted to eat around me. But I was just eating my cheese and happy and talking and just chilling,
You're a cheesy guy.
So I've learned, because I've met some carnivore friends like that I go hang out with now, and I've learned some of the ladies that are on carnivore, they will they'll bring carnivore snacks in their purse. And like, we'll be at the restaurant and they'll be pulling pork rinds out of their purse, and they'll be pulling like beef sticks out and all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, I can't fit that stuff in my wallet. But they'll be bringing like beef jerky and all kind of stuff with them. One of them, we went to a steakhouse and they didn't want to have the butter at the steak restaurant, so they actually pulled out a stick of butter out of their purse, and I used some of it too on my steak.
That's funny.
Carnivore community said you can tell a restaurant you have food allergies and ask them to leave everything off except butter.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes. I don't know, you can talk about that, but yeah.
I've never done that. You'd have to try
it. Here's a question. Do you think that one should not add the extra butter if you're trying to lose fat, as ribeye, eggs, and 75-25 hamburger has enough? It depends. If you have a lot of weight to lose, adding the extra butter it's not going to hurt you, because I used to add butter on all my steaks, New York strips, ribeyes back in the beginning, but lately I've been not doing that. So it depends on where you are in your journey. If you're at the beginning, you have a lot of weight to lose, it doesn't hurt. because like you're still gonna. The whole idea is to be in a calorie deficit at the end of the day. So yeah, it's not gonna hurt anything to have that extra fat, and if anything, it helps in my opinion. So
Yeah. And it's so weird to me because like and I can see that, but then at the same time, I can see where my buddy, Sean, the intentional carnivore, he's talked about there's been times where in his weight loss journey, where he was trying to lose weight or whatever. And when he would eat more fat, it would sound like it would make him not lose weight, but it would make him lose weight even faster. Like, it's crazy that sometimes your body's wanting it, because sometimes we can restrict ourselves so much that our body is like, you know what, I'm just going to hang on to everything that I got. I'm just going to stay right here. But sometimes you give it a little bit more and it's like, oh, I'm good. I got everything that I need. I'm going to release some weight. And your body, nobody's got it figured out. No. And you just have to experiment and find out what works.
And your metabolism will adjust, because like, I even like doing OMAD, I lost more weight, but then I stalled. And now I've been going back 2 meals a day. So it's weird. Like it's strange. Like you have to make adjustments. Like you can't do the same thing the entire time. Cause like I stalled out for like 2 or 3 months doing 2 meals a day. And and it's just, you have to make changes as you go, cause your body will get used to what you're doing. So you have to either add more calories, reduce some, add more fat in, take some dairy away, add dairy. It's just got to figure it out as you go. And I learned that as I went. So, yeah. Let's see.
Individualized process for sure.
Yeah, everyone's different. Let's see.
I don't know what that is.
We are actually having fraternal twins, Nancy, not identical. They're fraternal. But
so they could still be 2 boys, 2 girls, or a boy and a girl.
We just haven't said anything
yet. Watch them have a boy and a girl, y'all.
I don't know. Watch, one of my friends is gonna pop up in the comments.
They might, because they know.
We're gonna have to talk after this live stream.
Barry said, if you're trying to lose weight, you're right. You still have to be in a calorie.
Yes, that is true. Calories still do matter. I know some people are like, oh, they don't matter. They do matter at the end of the day. The thing is, the quality of the calories matter as well. So like someone can lose weight eating junk food and still be in a calorie deficit, or they can lose weight eating a whole food diet and be healthier. Carnivore is the best way to go for me. That's what I found was sustainable for me. So you just have to find what works for you.
It's so interesting on some of these videos where Patrick has kind of talked about his weight loss. We'll see in the comments a lot of like, oh, well, you could have done that on keto, or, oh, why are you eating so much meat? Or, oh, you could have done, I'm so surprised he restricted his calories and he lost so much weight. But it's like, you have to personally find what works for you. And like carnivore worked for you, because there's so much protein. So you're so full, and that helps you restrict the calories. And it's just crazy the types of comments you get. It's like, I tried every other thing and it didn't work.
And some people are successful on keto. Some people are successful on eating a Mediterranean diet, which is a lot more balanced diet. But I think at the end of the day,
balance not meaning it's better.
Yeah, no one says better. Exactly.
It's just different.
It's just different. And some people can handle things like vegetables, and some people can't. Everyone's different. You have to find what works for you. And I've tried a lot of diets in the past, and carnivore is the only thing that I could be successful with and be consistent with. So
yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying too about the calories, because like when you think about it, like back when I was eating junk food every day, I could eat thousands and thousands of calories a day and not even realize it. Like with the little Debbie cakes and the different sweets and the ice cream and all the different pastas and all that stuff, you really wouldn't realize you get through 6,000 calories in no time. But like try sitting down and just eating 6,000 calories worth of steak. Like it's totally different. It is
Yeah.
totally different than, eating, all the other different things that are out there. And I feel like that's why it's easier to naturally eat less calories because of the type of foods that we are eating.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's why carnivore is so successful for weight loss. I mean, you eat nothing but fat and protein, you're going to fill up on a lot less food and you're not going to get hungry again for a while. And that's why it's really successful for weight loss, but also, it's really successful for type 2 diabetes and a lot of all the metabolic diseases. So, yeah, that's sorry, that was random. But no, so it's yeah, sorry, I got a phone call. I had to just turn it off.
He's like
But,
me.
no,
He's like me, y'all. He's got that man
father
brain,
has
that one track mind.
yeah, no, well, her dad was calling me for some reason. Anyway, no, but yeah, that's why that's why carnivore is really successful for a lot of people. It's just because you don't get hungry as often and you're filling up on less food.
So I'm curious, Kipp, like what do your meals look like day to day?
Day to day. Well, typically it's 2 meals a day. Most
Okay.
of the time it's 2 meals a day. Today it was just 1 meal, but sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 1. Usually when it's 1, it's not like this forced thing like I get up where, oh, I'm just going to do OMAD today. It's more like, hey, I get real busy and I don't realize it that I didn't get hungry because I was busy. But normally it's like about, if I was to weigh it out, about a pound to a pound and a quarter each meal twice a day. So maybe 2.5 pounds of meat a day. Sometimes, some days though, when especially like days whenever I'm doing a lot of walking, I catch myself eating a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
I will catch myself like having to eat a little bit more at each meal. I'll just be a little extra hungry, but then I'll step on the scale the next day or whatever, and the scale still moved in the right direction. So,
yeah, and I know in the beginning, it's easier to eat more food in the beginning, but then like for me, days I work out, I find myself wanting to eat more food, because you're burning calories and your body wants to replenish those calories, especially when you're leaner like me. So it's been weird trying to figure all that out too now. But yeah, and normally for me, I'm doing I'm doing 2 meals a day, fasting in the morning, and I'll do like some meat sticks, like chomps or something for lunch ish. Maybe now I've been doing a little bit of chicken here and there for lunch, maybe just 5 eggs for lunch and then a steak for dinner. It changes up here and there, but
so you're like me where you typically you don't wake up hungry wanting breakfast?
oh no. I even what's weird, even when I was eating carbs and sugar, I never was a huge like super hungry in the morning kind of person. Yeah, it's just I would sometimes eat breakfast, sometimes I wouldn't. But I never I know I love breakfast food, don't get me wrong. But I never was a huge like I really would just want to eat something right now when I wake up, So going to 2 meals a day was super easy for me after the first month of going carnivore. So now I don't even want to eat till it's lunchtime now. So
now
yeah.
it's 2 meals a day, but dude, before, I'm not gonna lie, like I would wake up hungry and go like I'd want to eat right before I went to sleep too, because I felt like I was constantly hungry before. Like I used to, and I would eat so much food. It's crazy how much food that I used to eat. Like I I know it's hard to admit this, like, but I used to be embarrassed for other people that knew me to see how much I would eat in a meal. So sometimes I would like order a certain amount, and then whenever they wasn't looking, I'd order some more. Like, or you know what I mean? Like, or I would eat like if we were going out with my coworkers, I would eat like a normal portion, like what they would. But later on, if I ran into some food somewhere or something, I was getting more food because I felt like I was a bottomless pit always, and like a lot of it was that addiction. Just
Yeah.
like gotta have it, gotta have
Yeah.
it, gotta have it. But thankfully, being on eating this way, you know, all that stuff is calming down, and now I can literally just eat 2 meals and be fine.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who eat a lot of carbs. Carbs make you just want more. Your blood sugar goes up after you eat carbs or sugar, and then an hour or two later, you want more food. Even though you're not really hungry, you don't need it. You know, it's just it's crazy. It's weird. I remember like I would eat, 3 big meals a day, and then all of a sudden I just want something sweet. I want candy. I want this. I want that. It's just like and I was constantly just feeding, and it's just that's how I got to be so big. It's just it's crazy how
It's really hard to remember.
how carbs and sugar, how carbs and sugar can like change your brain. It's weird and just change. It's a true addiction. It really is. So okay. Let's see. Do we have anything? I see.
It's super hard to remember how big you were. Because, like, you're coming home and telling me, I bought a size small shirt today and it fit. It's like,
That's
or like,
crazy.
we go to Sam's Club or Costco and you're like, the shorts, the smallest size is too big. I can't buy them. And like, he used to not be able to buy shorts at Costco.
So I used to wear like a
What?
42, 44, and now I'm down to a size 30 in the waist. And even that's getting even those aren't really tight. And so Costco and Sam's Club, their shorts, usually the lowest size they have is 32, and those will fall off of me. So
That is crazy.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have to not, it'd be hard to find pants and shorts that fit me because I was a 42, 44, and like Walmart would have them. But like if I go to places like Kohl's or something, the biggest they go is like 40.
Who's this guy in my bed? Where'd my husband go? He melted.
What's interesting? Okay, this is something that I never knew would happen. So like I've always been a big guy, right?
Oh my goodness.
Every time I walk by a mirror, like in a store or something, or if someone takes a picture of me and I see it later, I'm expecting to see a big guy, but it's not anymore. It's weird. I have like body dysmorphia. I'm not used to how small I am.
Yeah.
How skinny I am. It's strange. It's really
That'll
weird.
take a while.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like you'll see one day. It's weird. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
You're
you'd be like,
being
who
a
is
big guy,
that?
and then all of a sudden, like, I'm not big anymore. It's like body dysmorphia. I'm telling you.
And I'm not used to I'm not trying to make it about me because that's amazing. I'm so proud of you, but I'm also not used to being married to a skinny guy who like now has biceps in the shower. I'm like, who are you? This is weird. I don't know.
Wow. That's
It's
funny.
like learning experience on both sides.
Yeah, it's definitely a change. So
That's cool
anyways.
though.
Yeah,
That is cool.
it's a good thing, but
Yeah.
my mind is not caught up to how I actually look. So
Let's talk about your other half, Kipp.
Someone had a question. I know you
He
talked about
probably gets tired of
you
these
talked about this
questions.
before, and you've answered this question before, but go ahead and answer it again.
It's the hardest question. It's the hardest question that I've ever got, like from anybody, is what about your wife? What about your wife? And I don't mind answering, like I'll answer, but like it's one of them things where like I choose to live this way, and she has continually now she supports me and is super happy for me, but she hasn't chosen to live this way. I mean, I wish she would, but I'm just going to keep living it. And then, she can, she's an adult and she can make her decisions on how she wants to get healthy and how she wants to have her health journey. But it means a lot just to have her support. But if she ever does want to try it, then I will support her trying it. But if not, then I'll support whatever she is doing on her health journey to try to get to where she wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
But some people want me to like try to force her to be carnivore and like as a husband. Like I mean, it ain't gonna. I won't stay married long if I try to do that.
You're a good supportive husband. I mean, you can't. Even if it's your spouse, you can't force them to
spouse or
change.
family members
or anyone.
You can't force anybody to change.
It's a decision they have to make themselves, and that's just how it is. Because like I I tried to change, and I didn't actually change until I really made the decision myself truly to actually do it, and was determined and had that mindset change. So it
Yeah.
takes the person really finally deciding to do it. So,
Yeah, and I mean, I think back to myself too, like, nobody forced me to start carnivore. Like, so who am I to go tell her she's gotta do this, or tell anybody that they gotta do this? Nobody told me that I had to do this. I mean, I done research and I was like, "You know what? I'm ready. I'm tired of being as sick feeling as I am, as being right at 500 pounds. I'm sick of this. I have to do something." So I was ready to make, because when you come from eating the standard American diet to do something like carnivore is a drastic change. And
yeah.
I was ready to do something like that to change my life. And,
Mhm.
but we can't force everybody else to do that. But I know why people ask, because people do care and people want to see, but it's not as easy as just having a conversation and being like, "Hey, I'm doing carnivore. You want to do carnivore?" Because like they don't necessarily see it the same way that I do.
Yeah.
And so, it's not always as simple as, as some people might think it is.
Yeah, and also something I've seen through my journey is that I'm just trying to get healthy, trying to do my thing, but then that naturally is an example to other people. So
Mhm.
like,
Exactly.
not only in our videos if people see my changes and everything are inspired to start their own journey, but in our personal lives too. Like, we have a lot of friends that they ask me, "Hey, I see you're losing a bunch of weight. What are you doing?" Like, and then like we start talking about carnivore and all this stuff,
Mhm.
and we've have several people that from our church that have started this journey as
It's like
well.
a little small
Yeah,
carnivore thing happening at our church
yeah,
now.
people in our church know about our YouTube channels. So like they've been watching our content, and there's like a little carnivore revolution happening in our church. It's actually most of the men.
Yeah.
There's a group of men that are actually going on a health journey and going carnivore.
It's
So
harder to get women to try carnivore. I think it is
it is.
harder a lot of times. Some women don't, because women aren't, a lot of women are taught, "Oh, just eat this salad and all this other different stuff." That's what I've learned from talking to different, like a friend of mine that's a nurse. She talks about the way that women were taught like, I guess the word stereotypically how to eat or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
really hard to convince women to change that, where men a lot of times they're like, "I already eat a bunch of meat anyway, so let's go."
Yeah.
Men just, it's easier.
And men tend to enjoy meat more. Just I don't know.
Yeah, that's my problem, is that
Yeah.
I've never been a super big meat eater, which is why ketovore is more sustainable for me,
Yeah.
because I cannot get enough food just with meat, because I just can't eat enough of it.
Yeah. And it's been in your pregnancy,
It's
made it
just
even worse.
yeah,
But
it's just how I am. So that goes back to everybody has to find something that works for them.
And so here's an interesting. Kathy Ray says most keto carnivores say the reflux subsides, but mine has not. How long are you carnivore or keto? And then how long have you been carnivore or keto? Because I know keto can help with reflux, but I know that if you're heavy and if you eat a lot of plants, I know that that can cause fermentation in the gut and cause the reflux to be there a little bit too. And I know acidic foods like tomatoes and stuff can do that as well for some people. Um, but I know I don't know any like strict carnivores that still have acid reflux. I know a lot of people have healed it. If you're a strict carnivore, I don't know if
I
you've had.
did.
I know you
I
had
used to
reflux
have it
too.
bad, but I used to have reflux pretty bad, but since I switched over to carnivore, I'm one of those people like you're talking about, Pat, where the reflux just went away.
Hmm. Yeah, and I know like I said, I know for me back before I would get heartburn, not all the time. It wasn't chronic, but it was pretty often. And usually when I had like spaghetti with the pasta sauce, like so the red sauce, the tomatoes, it really did it for me. And pizza is another one that would really flare up my heartburn. So I know for me it was acid that did it. And I know some people, if you eat a lot of like, because technically tomatoes are still keto, so maybe you're eating too many tomatoes, maybe it's too many plants. I don't know. But I would say try carnivore for 30 days and see if it helps. That's what I would say. So
She also was talking about it's really hard to be the only one in your family.
mm.
How's that been for you, Kip?
It is hard, but I keep telling myself that because in the beginning, a lot of family would think like, dude, you're crazy. Like you're crazy until they start seeing some results. They haven't seen the results like Pat's been showing everybody. Like I ain't got them kind of results yet. But I keep telling myself that like all those people, not just family, but friends and like coworkers that have doubted what I'm doing. I keep telling myself that look, in 5 years, they're gonna be like, hey, tell me what you need. Tell me all about it because like I do believe that the proof's in the pudding, and I do know that by sticking with this, I already know what's going to happen. I mean, it's like I'm convinced that this right here is the proper human diet, and I'm convinced that if I stick with this, like people are going to be asking questions like, "Dude, what did you do?" And like family members, friends, whoever. So if you're the only one, just find motivation and just know that one day people are going to be asking you questions, and it is hard at times. For me, it's hard whenever I see family members get to eat anything and everything that they want, but times that I've went off plan, I get reminded at the pain that comes back and all that stuff. So that is more motivation for me to stay on plan, even if my family's not. Like if they're eating a bunch of junk food, and if I join them and start eating a bunch of junk food, my shoulder starts hurting. So to me, it's not worth it. It's better for me to just stay on plan, regardless of what they do, and it gets easier over time.
Yeah, and even if it's like if you're the only one in your house that's carnivore, you just have to take your health into your own hands. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and remember why you're doing it, and just stay strong and fight and do it every single day, and your health will improve. That's all. I mean, I don't know. Right now, I'm kind of like that because like you're not carnivore. We're just it's different. So I'm really the only carnivore in the house right now. It didn't start like that. We both started carnivore, but so I'm still trying to navigate that. But yeah, I would say just you have to be consistent and take your own health in your hands.
Yeah.
And go from there.
I know for us, like throughout this pregnancy, I've been focusing on not like being carnivore. I was carnivore for about the first 3 months, and then I was ketovore, but I haven't even been focusing on being ketovore because the meat aversions were just so strong. I was struggling just to eat anything. So I've just been trying to eat whole foods and lower carb, and that's what we focus on with our son, is just feeding him whole foods.
Yep.
So for you, Kip, even though you're the only carnivore in your family, like, is there still a bunch of sugar and processed foods that you're having to try to avoid there? Or are you guys like focusing on whole foods, even if it's not carnivore kind of thing?
There's my wife, she doesn't keep tons of stuff. She loves pasta though. She keeps like pastas and stuff like
And
that.
that's your weakness, you said.
Yeah, that's a weakness of mine. But the thing is, it becomes a habit. Like if it's hard initially to deal with that, but whenever you do something for so long, I know it sounds cliche to say it, but it really does become a habit, and you get used to, regardless of what they're doing, this is my plan, this is what I'm doing. You do that day in and day out and day in and day out, and eventually you will just automatically do it, and you won't even be thinking about what they're doing. You'll just be thinking, okay, so I get home from work, I'm having my steak. I get up, I go to work, and then I'm going to have my hamburger patties, or I'm going to have my chicken, or whatever it is whatever meat you like. I don't care what meat you like to eat, but whatever meat it is that you eat, you have it for lunch. You have your routine, and it gets easier to not be so focused on what everybody else is eating, because you're never going to change what everybody else is eating.
Exactly.
Like if I could snap my fingers and everybody in the world ate carnivore, I would do it, but that ain't going to happen. I have to find ways to learn to live with that. And and plus, if everybody started eating carnivore tomorrow, then my steaks might go up. The price of them might go way up. We need some steaks, y'all.
Yeah, and you know, like you were talking about, you know, it's a way of eating. It becomes a habit. No matter what everyone else does, you still know you're going to eat your eggs and your steak and your meat. You know, so the longer you're eating this way, the easier it is to stay consistent, even if others around you aren't eating that way.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
It's like when I see people like I grew up in a family where nobody exercised, nobody ate healthy, nobody nothing. And when I see all these families like where everybody's small and everybody works out, like they'll be like in the evening after work, they'll be outside like playing tennis or playing basketball or running and all this stuff. I'm like, how do these families do that? But that's what I'm thinking in my mind. But really, what it is just they made habits of doing that. Like they did it and then they kept doing it and kept doing it. And they just want to live a healthy lifestyle. And a lot of them, they probably eat healthier foods and definitely compared, even if it's not carnivore, it's way better than what I ate growing up. And you know, a lot of them, they'll shop at like Whole Foods and different places like that. And when I see those families, it's always been like, man, I would like to be, because I want Abigail to grow up and, you know, think it's normal to go out for a walk in the evening or go ride bikes and go do things, where my family, like, we watch TV together. You know what I mean? Like we watch TV shows and stuff like that and hung out on the couch and told stories and hung out. And so, but I want a different life for my family. And the only way it's going to happen is if I make that a habit.
Just like your sign says back there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the fat in my family tree, it ends with me.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, it ends right here.
And eating healthy as the parent makes it a whole lot easier to do those active habits after dinner. I don't know about y'all, but after dinner, I'm usually way tired.
Well, especially now.
But, you know, when you're not drowning yourself in carbs all the time, you know, you're going to have that extra energy to take your kid on the bike ride or to go outside and play in the yard, when I feel like we didn't have the energy to do that before.
Yeah, it's pretty common now for us to take our son on a bike ride or for a walk or whatever.
He expects going on a bike ride after dinner now.
Exactly. I used to come home from work and go find something new to watch on Netflix or go, and I'm not saying that I don't ever watch Netflix anymore, but like my life, that's not like I'm not consumed with that anymore. Now, like I get home, like yesterday, whenever I got home, I got in the pool and I went and swimming, and then I done some yard work the day before that, and then today I was doing some more stuff outside this evening, and it's just getting outside and doing things. And I just moved my little exercise bike into the living room so that I don't have an excuse to sit there and watch TV and just sit on the couch. Now I can watch TV while I'm riding the bike.
There you go.
And you know what I mean? And so it's just little things that will get me moving and get me more active to make those habits.
Yeah, that's a good idea there. But also, you know, I found, I don't know if you have this too, but I found that going carnivore made me more like ambitious, wanting to get more stuff done. I have more energy, but also like I just want to get more stuff done. If there's a project needs to be done, I try to get it done if I remember. but no, I try to get stuff done. Like yeah. So it's just it's interesting that changing the way you eat, you just feel better all around. Even in the beginning, even when you're still really big, you feel better all pretty quickly. And I just wanted to get more stuff done and had a ton more energy. So it was a pretty quick change with that. Even if I still had 100 pounds to lose, I still was kind of just wanting to get stuff done all the time. So
yeah, I told somebody one day in an interview, I told them like straight up, being on carnivore made me a better employee as well. Because whenever I was at work before eating a bunch of carbs, like, dude, at 2:00, I was trying to stay awake. You know, I had had my ice cream after lunch and I was like dead, and it was hard to get paperwork done and stuff like that. But I feel like when I eat carnivore, I'm firing on more cylinders than I even realized I had. Like I can go from morning till time to get off work, and there's just energy the whole day. You know, and I didn't have that before. And so, and I think, I mean, I'm a country boy. I don't think too bright anyway, but I think a little bit better. And, you know, I just feel like I just make better decisions overall by eating this way.
And you don't know if you've noticed this too, but like I'm the same way. Like I have energy throughout the day, but then once it's time to wind down, I crash hard and I sleep good, you know? So that's also something too. Your body gets used to the energy, you use it, and then it's all right, it's bedtime, it's time to sleep, you know, and you sleep hard and you sleep good. So that's something else I've noticed too. It's been pretty interesting. But let's see. Our vote's one boy, one girl.
The votes are coming in.
Let's find out. Stay tuned. We'll see. Maybe.
It's exciting either way. It doesn't matter. We're just voting for healthy babies.
Exactly.
Yep, that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Want them in there as long as possible.
Barry says, I don't consider this a diet. I call it a lifestyle change. If you're not willing to make a lifestyle change where you change your habits and the way you eat. Exactly. If you continue to do the same thing, you're not going to see a change. You know, so you have to make a change to get healthy.
Yeah. I mean, it is a lifestyle. Like, I call it a diet because, like, that's what people know it as. Like, people say, like, what are you on? The carnivore diet. Like, if, you know, sometimes when I'm tiling a video, I'll say, this happened on the carnivore diet or something, because, like, everybody's not searching on YouTube carnivore lifestyle or whatever.
Yeah.
But people don't understand that. And I'm just like, that's what people call it. But yes, it is a lifestyle. And, you know, clearly we love living this lifestyle, or we wouldn't all be sitting here talking about it. But I mean, it's great. It's great, and it's a lifestyle. But sometimes people make the word diet evil. Like, oh, if you say the word diet, it's bad. But like, what about when people say like line diet, or they say like a diet of a certain animal? Like, every animal in the wild has a certain diet that they're supposed to eat, but we don't say it's a bad thing for them. We can say that we have a certain diet that is the appropriate diet for us, and it doesn't necessarily have to be evil. But people just made the word diet into this super evil thing, you know.
And humans are not meant to eat highly processed foods or seed oils or sugars. They're meant to eat things that grow on the ground, fruit, and meat.
So there is a proper diet for people to eat, and it's not evil to say that word.
Exactly.
I just like listening to Kipp say the word diet with his southern accent.
You're on that diet, ain't you?
His southern accent's a lot.
That's what I tell people whenever they like, you lose it. Yeah, I've been dieting. Y'all don't want the redneck to come out now.
All right, so just chat if you have any questions. Y'all get your questions in. We're gonna wrap it up soon. Been going now, what, an hour and a half? So probably 10 more minutes.
Don't even feel like it. I've been having fun.
All right. So we'll probably go another 10 more minutes to get those last minute questions in if you got any. And yeah, so, but yeah, it does not feel like an hour and a half at all. It felt like maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's how you know you're having fun, whenever it flies by.
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, I talk to different people, you know, and y'all talk to different people, but it's cool whenever you get to talk with people that like you were talking to way back at the beginning of the process.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, I mean, I was talking to y'all back then. So, I mean, it's cool to get to talk to people that you've been talking to all along.
Kipp, like your third subscriber or something.
I think you were the first comment we've ever gotten on a video was from you, I think.
I called Patrick the day I saw you comment on our video. I was like, we got a comment. It's somebody we don't know.
And she's like, it's
this guy named Kipp.
And I was like, yeah, I've seen his videos, you know, because I started watching your videos.
So you had already seen my videos at that point?
I think it was one of your early like barbecuing videos, carnivore barbecuing videos or something. But
Yeah.
I commented on it, and you didn't, as me, not Carnivore couple,
Yeah.
and yeah, so it was. I was like, yeah, I know Carnivore Kipp. I've watched his videos. It's kind of funny.
Wow, look at this.
Yeah. I try to go watch other channels. It's really hard. The older that my daughter gets, I feel like the less time I have because she's everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm having to constantly chase her. So it's
Mhm.
harder to have that time to just watch as many videos as I would like. But I still try to watch videos. I watched a new carnivore channel yesterday that I had
Mhm.
never seen before. I try to do that, but I mean, sometimes it's just hard to. There's so many channels now, which is a good thing. I mean, it's good that more because those people can reach somebody that I can't, and you can reach somebody that I can't, and it's good. It just shows that this whole movement's growing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, I've noticed that the carnivore topic has been getting pretty popular lately. So, but it's a hot topic for sure. There's a lot of new channels out there. It's hard to find them all, but it's kind of cool to see it grow and see the movement growing and see the people that are changing their health, and it's awesome to be able to encourage people and to show them, hey, I have results. I've been doing this now for a while. So
Mhm.
it's really cool, really, really kind of a cool thing that we're doing. So we
Uh,
got a question from Anna. Do you use spices or condiments? Yes.
Mhm.
I salt, pepper, garlic powder, beef rub, as long as there's no sugar in it. I use it. Frank's Red Hot, mustard. I mean, I eat it all. We get a lot of weird questions. Like we came on the video today talking about this actually,
Yeah.
or did we? I don't remember.
I
Anyways,
think it was. Mhm.
but you have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
I drink coffee. It's not carnivore.
You use mustard. It's
I
not
use mustard.
carnivore.
It's not carnivore. Frank's Red Hot is not carnivore. I
Mhm.
still have been eating all these things, drinking all these things the entire time. There's no sugar, no carbs in them. So I mean,
It depends on your why.
yeah.
If you're trying to fight an autoinflammatory condition, you're going to have to probably be more strict and cut some of the things out.
Yes.
But I mean, for you, your biggest goals were to lose weight,
Get healthy.
become insulin sensitive, and heal pre-diabetes, those types of things. And so, you using pepper isn't going against your personal goals.
Exactly.
So for every person, I feel like that answer is different.
Yeah, you have to find what works for you, what's sustainable for you, and what's going to be successful for you in the long run. Because some people can eat a lion diet and just have beef, salt, and water and be good to go.
And that's great.
That's awesome. Good for them. I
For
can't do
me,
it.
that is boring. Like
Yeah.
when I tried
Can't
it
do
for a while, I can't stay. If I had a reason that I had to, I could, but
Yeah.
like I can do fine so far with just some seasonings and I even asked you at the beginning of this year, what exactly for condiments do you use? And you said mustard and hot sauce, and that I've been using that sometimes. I don't use it every time I eat, but every now and then I'll use those things to add a little something to it. But even with the autoimmune condition, I've found that I can still do fine with the different seasonings as long as it doesn't have sugar or anything like that in it. And I do fine with the mustard and hot sauce. But I will say now, if I have fake butter, like I've had like the margarine on my steak before, like whenever I was at
Why
somebody's
did you
house,
do that?
It's full of seed oils.
I know, dude. When I do that, I done it. My
That's what
shoulder,
the
I
seed
kid
oil.
you not, the next day my shoulder was hurting so bad, and it was because of those seed oils in that fake butter.
Yeah.
Seed
So
oils are highly inflammatory, and they're not good for you. Period. They're bad for you, if anything. So yeah, it's just we avoid them at all costs. So
and restaurants are sneaky. Restaurants all have them in just about everything, man.
and 99% of any processed food, you look on the back of the package, what's in there? Some type of seed oil, whether it's soybean, canola, vegetable, grapeseed, whatever it is, it's in there. So you just gotta avoid it.
So you use spices and then like sometimes hot sauce and mustard. Is that what I'm getting, Kip?
Yeah, that's basically what I did. Yeah, I remember I texted Pat at the beginning of this year just to double check because I was like, dude, whatever Pat did worked.
But that doesn't
He's half the
generalize.
man that I used to know. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're half the man.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
So,
no. So, I mean, I had to make it sustainable for me. You know, if I couldn't have coffee, if I couldn't have my Frank's Red Hot, which has no carbs or sugar, I wouldn't have probably been successful. So
I got news for you though, Pat. There's gonna be a day. There's gonna be a day that you don't have coffee. You're gonna do it one day. I think so.
You keep saying that. You keep saying that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
think so.
Maybe
One day you'll be so carnivore that you won't need nothing. Just air. Nah.
Here's a question about that thinking though. Like, if it's not negative, why change it?
That's a good question.
That's my
But
question.
when it comes to coffee, there's so many different mixed things. Like on caffeine, there's people that say it's okay, and there's people that's so totally against it. And I don't know. I don't like me personally, and I do have things with caffeine sometimes, but I don't like feeling like I have to have something.
Yes.
Like then I feel like it's like something that I can't break. Like if I feel like I can't break it, then I feel like it's an addiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I don't want to feel like I'm addicted to stuff or whatever. That's more of a for me. But I'm not saying that Pat will quit it forever or anything like that. But I think by doing this, and he's done so well, there'll come a time where he wants to experiment and just be like, you know what? I'm gonna just do this for 3 months or 2 months just to say that I can just to see if I can do it and just to see what it feels like. You never know, dude. You might do it for 2 months and you might feel even better than you do now. Or then again, you might do it and feel worse and then be like, dude, I gotta have my coffee.
Yeah.
And one day I may decide to give it up for 30 days or whatever and see how it goes. But right now, I am not doing that. I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. Let's put it that way.
No, definitely not. Would you finna have twins?
Yeah, you're gonna need caffeine, especially.
Yeah, you're gonna need. Now ain't the time to be quitting coffee.
But I feel like that experimentation goes both ways in becoming more restrictive and less restrictive. Like reducing your coffee intake, like to see how it makes you feel, that would be something that would be more restrictive. But then, like I was watching Lily Kane's video, how she added in some fruit, or like probably everybody knows, you know, like Paul Saladino added in some fruit and like it helped them in their gym and things like that. So I feel like it's just so individualized for every single person that experimentation is amazing, and we have to do what works for our individually.
And if your goal isn't to lose weight at this point, you know, if you're maintaining like people like Lily Kane and Paul Saladino, and fruit helps them with their exercise or whatever, I don't see a problem with that. Fruit is meant to be eaten. Now you have to be careful with it, especially if you have a sugar addiction. So
I totally agree. Agree.
Yeah.
But hey, Carnivore Quest, they decided to pop in right as we're getting ready to get off. How y'all doing? Good to see you on the chat.
Yeah, you didn't see my comment right below it, did you?
Kip already knew.
Can we get
late for the party?
Yeah, let's get some autographs, right?
Yeah, we got famous people in the house now. I gotta set up straight. Oh man, no, I love Larry and Cassie. They've been super supportive. There's been times where I've been down, and they're like, one time they challenged me, like they was like, dude, we're gonna do like this whole week-long or 5-day long challenge just to help get me restarted, and it actually worked out to get me back on plan. They're good people.
Yeah, they're awesome, and they're very inspirational, and yeah, I've been watching some of their content in the last month or so, but I'm glad to see. We've been praying for Cassie because I know there was a little scare there with the cancer, but she's got good news, and it's good news. So that's awesome, and
I know. As soon as I found out, I texted my wife and told her that there was no cancer. I know that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good answer to prayers for sure. So good news. All right. Yeah, they said they didn't know we were on.
I love Larry and
we need
Cassie.
to do like a three
Why
channel.
don't we do that? Because I'm not sure if Larry and Cassie know it, but we've been talking about doing like live streams once a month or whatever, or around once a month. One of the future ones that we do, we should have them on too, or at least if one of them could get on. I think that'd be fun to have them on.
So Larry and Cassie, so Kipp and us have been we're trying to do a once a month live stream, but we'll have to send y'all an email or something, get y'all on one of those.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
mean,
awesome.
yeah, and I like how we're trying to do the once a month thing, because me and Sean and we used to do the once a week, and we've talked about bringing the Carnivore Live thing back, but if we do it, it might not be once a week, because it was getting a lot on all of us to be realistic. To do once a week when you have other priorities, and we all have families and stuff, once a week is tough. So I'm liking this idea of the once a month thing. I like it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier, a lot more manageable, because we're all busy. You know what I mean? We got
Because
family, jobs,
planning
and
once a
YouTube
week.
channels to maintain,
Every week you have different things going on with your family too. So I mean, it's tough.
Exactly. So, but yeah. So I think we're gonna get off here soon. It's getting late. I'm getting tired.
All right.
But yeah, Larry, we'll send you an email for sure. But is there anything you wanted to add to the conversation, Kipp, before we get off?
Not just well, I mean, I want to say, and I normally don't do this, but to my subscribers that stuck with me even whenever I was down, because I mean, I actually lost some subscribers, which is fine. I'm not doing YouTube to have tons of subscribers. I'm doing it to that way that I can see the results later on, and I can show Abigail when she's older. One day I'm gonna sit down with her and show her videos from now. And but I mean, the people that stuck with me and are still cheering me on and believed in me when I was down and was commenting saying, "Hey, you're gonna bounce back, you're gonna get back up." I want to tell all those people thank you, and I appreciate y'all, and I love y'all for sticking with me.
Yep, and we've been following your journey obviously for forever, since you started.
Oh yeah, since the beginning.
But, yeah, so and I've seen the several times where you've fallen and gotten back up, and it's for people who struggle, you're definitely an inspiration. You always get back up, even though you fall off the wagon and gain 50 pounds in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? You're still consistent. You still get back up. You still get back on the wagon, and you remember why you're doing it in the first place. Because me and you have the same whys. I started this because of my son, and you started because of your daughter. So
absolutely.
And yeah, you're definitely an inspiration to a lot of people, and I continue to pray for you every time you fall. I make sure to say a prayer or two for you. But yeah, we're sticking with you and supporting you always.
Well, I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
If y'all haven't, make sure to go subscribe to Kipp's channel too.
Yeah.
If you're
and y'all go subscribe to Carnivore Couples channel too. If y'all are watching on my channel, they're awesome people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna get off here, and y'all have a good night. Sleep well.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.
Yep. Have a good weekend, everyone, and stay strong. And we'll see y'all on the next one.
Take care.
Bye.